Again, Big Z, absolutely awesome, man. Holy cow. I couldn't wait to get to G Cobb because crap that people don't realize. And Garry, get this, Garry Cobb is exactly what Saturday was in his career. And let me explain. Garry Cobb was a late round draft choice fighting for a roster spot. He made his 10-plus year career based on games like that. 22 starters. 35 guys have to be picked out of that shit we saw this past weekend. 35 guys. I'll tell you this, that had to be the worst effort in 4 years of me covering the Eagles. In what we saw. With all that being said, one of my dear friends, guy that I looked up to when I was a kid, and here he is from Fox 29, our friend, Garry Cobb. G Cobb, how you doing, brother?
Good. How you making out?
All right, man.
That was bad.
Give me your takeaways on what you witnessed this past weekend.
Well, very disappointed in the backup quarterbacks. I mean, you got, horrible. Offensively, that was just ridiculous. And then defensively, you're really troubled by a lot of players that you don't see them really shining. I was really disappointed in what I saw because it just seems that, this is a time when guys know, look, you're either going to make the team or they're going to cut you. So you got plenty of motivation to go out and show us what you got. And, you got a team, they got two quarterbacks. Now, you excuse probably the younger kid. But the quarterbacking was horrible. It looked like, kids you got off the street that they didn't practice at all. So that was bad. You didn't like the way defensively they just marched down the field when the game started. It was like, it's like this is practice.
Seven series, Garry. 7 scores on those 7 series out of the gate.
Horrible. That's just really bad. I just see a team now. You've got some good players sitting over there watching the game. But if anybody gets hurt, you're looking at the backups. You're going
Garry,
like,
here was my problem, Garry. Is that Keely Ringo, Sidney Brown.
Oh boy,
those guys are fighting for starting jobs, and they were getting torched by the 4th team starting quarterback for the Browns and the 2nd team offensive guys. If those guys are starting and looking for jobs, those are the guys that you're picking the final spots to look on your roster. I mean, as I mentioned, Garry, you got to pick 35 players off of what you saw to fill that roster. Let's just put it out there, Garry. If 22 guys are sitting on the sidelines, well, 57 dudes are on a roster.
That's right.
35 more men. I thought the Browns marched up and down the field at will, and that defense, in my opinion, Keely Ringo at corner number 2, he's just not cutting it.
No, he's not. And the thing is, it's not even close. And you're wondering, like, what happened to him? He looks like he's moving at, he's like his old man out there or something.
Yeah.
And this kid's supposed to have run a 4.3. Yeah. You're going like, what? This kid didn't run any 4.3. The kid can't cover anybody, And you hate to see that because, you're looking at the end of people's career, or at least as Eagles, because, there are other people pick them up, maybe and everything, but you're just saying, like, this is when, if you ever stand up now, your career's on the line. You figure you're going to get to challenge the kid. I'm sure they talked to him before the game, told him, dude, we got to see something from you, man. And then you see that kind of performance, hopefully the kid will make it somewhere else, but he basically ending his time with the Eagles playing that poorly. I mean, how could you keep a kid that's playing that poorly? So, that's, I don't know him real well, but, I met him and everything. You're rooting for him. Go on, come on, man. Let's see what you got now. And you didn't see anything. And really, the defense, to start out the game, man, my goodness. Like I said, just march right down the field. You didn't see anybody get mad or anything, just like, okay. And that wasn't good either, because if you're going to play, man, so what it makes you feel is like, oh boy, we don't need to get anybody hurt, man. Whew. You know, through
And
this year, man.
You take an injury like you did a year ago with Slay or with Dean
Yeah.
or with anyone. You got a massive. You're filling holes with dudes that cannot replace those guys. I mean, you have not replaced Slay and Gardner Johnson, in my opinion, whatsoever. I mean, even the kid Steen, who's had a decent camp, hasn't replaced Becton. And then the kid Tooth on the other side of the ball, he's the one that got the quarterback almost decapitated in the ball game.
Yeah.
That's the guy that's going to go into the Cowboy game.
I know.
Garry, did they do too much damage in the offseason by allowing too many people to go?
Well, right now, I would say yes. But I know they feel as if, these kids are going to be coached and everything, but, coaching only does but so much. I mean, I don't know how you, after seeing that, you feel good at all, because after looking at that, you feel like throwing up the whole lot. I mean, it's just like, oh my goodness, man. We're going to have to clean house. We got to go find some players somewhere. So all the scouts got to go, oh man, look at this. The guys they brought in, man, they got to be feeling what is going on with those guys. But it was really discouraging, and just gets you really concerned, because you know that you do have injuries during the season. It's just part of the game. But your depth is like done, man. You don't have any depth.
Let me, and you know what, Garry, you know me by now. I mean, I'm a conspiracy guy.
Yeah.
And you tell me if I'm reading this thing wrong here. So the Eagles, for the second trade in the last 13 days, they send Harrison Bryant to the Texans.
Yeah.
For John Michie. I didn't know the third wide receiver. By the way, Garry, just for knowledge, the third wide receiver a year ago had 35 catches between 5 guys. So I didn't know that was a priority, the third wide receiver. In return, the Eagles part with the 26th fifth rounder, and the Texans will send their 26th sixth rounder. Okay, so let me add to this now, the context of it. So A.J. Brown misses the playoff game against the Bucs in 23. Last year, he misses 4 games.
Yeah.
This year, he's missed all of training camp. You're either talking of moving him or he's injured. Pick one. I'm picking he's injured. I mean, how do you look at this now? I mean, if you're
you know what? It seems like, they just were so cool about it out there at training camp. I figured, well, they're just holding them out, man. They're just holding them out.
That's what I thought.
Now, but he wasn't going to play in the preseason, so I understand that. But when Cleveland comes in or another team, you figure this is when he's going to get some good work.
Joint practices.
That's right. So, times I don't understand, because of course they are quick about making sure guys don't, really make an injury worse. They would rather the guy rest, give him more time, and that sort of thing. So I just haven't made a big deal about it. But AJ's been out there, chilling, watching practice, just like me. I'm standing there watching practice. He's standing there watching practice. So I haven't made a big deal out of it. But after a while, you go, hey, we need some work, right?
Well, wouldn't you think, Garry, with a new coordinator and the fourth worst passing game, and if you're going to try to tell me you're going to improve the passing because you may be thinking that the defense may be a little slow in coming around,
yeah,
wouldn't you think that they would be at least working chemistry out there? How about this? So much so with the coordinator, I'm not so much worried about A.J. Brown getting reps in practice. I get that, and Jalen too. Yeah. But don't you think that new coordinator needs to get some type of chemistry built up in those joint practices with the players that he's going to try to put in position? Garry, I just got asked a question by Xander, and let me hear if you agree with me. So Xander goes, he asked the question. He goes, "Don't you think them knowing one another helps Kevin Petula call plays?" And I said, "No, I don't. I think situational play calling, I think that's a skill set. I think that's something you have to know." Garry, wide receiver coaches and O-line coaches and running back coaches are just that. When you become a coordinator, That's a whole different world. You got to put the entire unit in positions on every play to be successful for a play to work. So I'm more concerned about the coordinator going into this than I am the two players.
Well, I think it's the kind of thing where they do know each other. They have been working together for a while, so I'm trying to have the confidence that, hey, it's not going to be a major change, meaning that Kevin Patullo wasn't getting final say on the plays that were going in, but he's on the speaker and he was involved in the conversation. So that means sometimes, hey, why don't we go with this, that he was contributing, and so he's already into this. And so this change isn't as big as some of the other ones, because he was there all the time. He was involved in the conversation. He was involved in the plays they were calling and everything. So I'm not looking on this as that big of a change when it comes to offense. Plus, he and Jalen, who are the key people in this conversation, they have been talking. They got a long-going relationship, So I don't look on that as big, But like I said, with AJ though, I want you. Come on, you got to get some work. Somebody, what are we doing? We need our people that are going to be on the field. They need to get some time together. Now, I don't think it's time to be panicking and everything, because a lot of those people that were playing in the game, they're not going to be out there on the field anyway. But your depth, you are going to need guys are going to get hurt. Things happen during the season, so you do want guys that look like they can play, that you got as backups, because somebody goes down, and as much as we hate to say it, somebody does go down. I mean, You don't play through the whole season and everybody's fine. No. So you want to see guys show they can play. And unfortunately, that mess against the Browns, that was horrible, man.
Horrible. Garry, what about the depth of the team? How are you feeling about it?
Well, defensively, of course, that's where I'm concerned. Defensively, when you start talking about the secondary, there's reason for concern. I mean, I can't say that I see a whole secondary back there. I don't see a whole secondary. I see some pieces, but not all the pieces are back there to where you feel comfortable with everybody that's sending out there. I think if you would ask them, they say, because I hear the defense coordinator basically say, look, yeah, guys are still battling for their spots. That means he hasn't seen 11 starters or 12 starters. He has not seen them yet, to where they're out there playing during practice. He's waiting for guys to show themselves. So that's where they're at right now. Now, it's not ready. It's not time to panic, but it's getting near time to panic.
How about this one here? So Vic today was talking about, the secondary role being open, and he goes, yeah, right now you would have thought that we would have had somebody, rear its head and just show that, they're kind of making the position.
Yes.
But then something else, a little nugget came in. Today was the first day that Cooper was going to get reps at corner. Is the second corner on this team now, or is he not on this team?
Right now, we haven't seen him. I say, unless they are going to put Cooper over there.
Yeah.
But see, doing that, I don't know, man, because doing that, you're taking away one of the strengths of the team is having him playing that nickel. You got a guy who's as good as anybody in the league playing that nickel spot. So you don't want to move him out of that, because he's the one that gives you a chance of where you don't have abundance of, especially nickels in the league for that matter, that would like to go up and tackle people. Guys who are good cover guys that also like to tackle people. There's not an abundance of people like that in the NFL. Cooper happens to be one of them. So you want to take advantage of that. And of course, you want him on the field. But the way it looks now, for them to even be, they're sending a message by just moving him out there in the first place. To say he's going to take some cornerback work. What are they saying? We haven't seen a starting corner yet.
No one's grabbed the role.
Nobody's grabbed the role. So that's why we're thinking that we might have to move him out there. But it's going to really weaken the team in other ways. I don't want to see him go out there because you see what he can do at the nickel spot, and you need guys that are willing to tackle. I mean, you need to have those guys on the field. But I bet you they're thinking about, the guys they let go and everything. I mean, but if you got you're not sure at that corner position, man, that could really be damaging. I tell you, boy, you can get hurt because big plays, man. Oh man, you could, and if you look at the schedule and the wide receivers they got to play, that could really get ugly.
Especially the first 5 here. Who are you feeling the loss of more, Gardner Johnson or Slay?
Probably Slay. Yeah, Slay. And they're saying it's Slay. It's not as much Gardner Johnson because, they would have, they could, their second round pick, of course, he picked off the pass. He got, the touchdown and everything. He didn't play a lot. He kind of been banged up a lot. He hasn't practiced a lot.
Yeah.
But kid get in there, you see he's got he's got a feel for the game, so you like to see that.
Do you think, Garry, with Makuba making those plays and that pick six and the fumble, do you think, again, because if you put the tape on, the Browns, they did what they wanted. I called those splash plays.
Yeah, and he had some problems in coverage too. Yeah,
he had. Vic even mentioned that he had covered. I mean, because you make 2 splash plays doesn't mean you played well. However, you being around the ball, how much do you play into that, especially at that position when Gardner Johnson was a guy the same way where he got beat deep too.
Yeah,
but he was a splash player with 12 picks in 2 years that he was here. So I mean, how much does that go into the valuation that guy's around the ball?
Well, I know in my experience in the game that if somebody has a consistency of making plays, they make plays. Certain guys make plays, certain guys don't. So that is something that, it's not a coincidence. After it keeps happening, it's not a coincidence. So I definitely think that's a good part of his ability and everything. But I don't want to just give up big plays, man, where you got a guy can't even think about covering somebody, No,
he got turned around by the 14th quarterback in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's not something to get excited about. So he's got work to do, but the fact that he made a couple of big plays, we are looking at that. We're not just looking at that and saying, "Oh, that was just lucky." No, because it's happening over and over again in your career.
Is that more reps, Garry? Is that more reps?
I think it's more reps. Yeah, because he hasn't practiced a lot. He's been out. He's missed a lot of time. So I cut him some slack. I
did too.
I'll cut him some slack. But at that corner spot, they don't have the other corner. We haven't seen him, and you can't play in the league where you don't at least have 2 corners, man. Come on.
Oh, one could be a fantastic one, but you got to have somebody that you're his game is functional and reliable. You can.
Yes.
They just don't have that out there. I don't see anybody out there that's reliable.
I have not seen it, and looking at practices and everything, and then the games where it's been even worse than the practice. You say like, golly, man, I thought these guys were better than this, but you don't lie to yourself, and you see that there's they feel a little bit urgent because you see them start looking. They're looking around, bringing guys in. Clearly, they see a problem.
How about this? Couple last here for you. So the Jahad Campbell, I'm also in that room with him. He made a sack, which is a really nice play, but you got to remember the guys in front of him. When you're a linebacker, Garry, if you got dogs in front of you and get knocked into you, and you don't, the line of scrimmage moves back, and you're playing well. The Browns knocked them off the ball, which is going to affect the linebacking play. And I thought there were times, but you see skill set on the Campbell kid that he's coming along. Is this more again by just getting acclimated to the game, in your opinion? Because I see hand placement, I see lateral movement, I see all of that. But I mean, again, this is more again about reps with him too, right?
Yeah, I think it's more reps with him, and then also getting comfortable enough with all the things they're doing because it's a lot on his plate, and then he's also they keeping him ready if he needs to be coming off the corner and stuff. So the kid has a lot on his plate, but I'm still positive about him. You know, I think that he's coming along. You expect young players, you expect some mistakes anyway. So yeah, he made some mistakes, but he's going to get better, and he's done a lot. He's taken it a lot in a short period of time. So I still feel great about what I've seen of him. If it was just him, boy, I would really be happy. But you know, it's some of these other guys that you know you're not going to get better, because I expect things are going to get better with him more and more, because this is his first time with taking in all this information.
I
It's a
think
lot.
the Munden kid's too getting. I like the kid Munden too. I mean,
That's right. I think he's doing a good job as well. That's right. You know, because
he's showing it.
That's right, because they're active, they're around the ball.
Yeah.
You know, long as they're doing that, they're going to make some mistakes because they got to make the calls too. See, that's what a lot of times, see, at that linebacker position, you got to make adjustments too. See, you not only got the things you've got to do, but you got to be able to tell people, hey, when they got to make an adjustment, you got to change something. Let's say during a motion or something. So you really got to do your homework and knowing the defense, knowing what everybody else has got to do too. So it's a lot to take in, and just been a short period of time since he's been out there. So I think he's been doing fine. I think he's going to be fine.
I'll tell you what, on a positive note too, Ajomo's the only guy really of the new faces that has kind of separated himself. Do you agree that he's won that gig? I mean,
yeah,
you could see that he's won that. The other guys are suspect conversation on, but he's probably, you think he's been a surprise at camp?
Well, I don't know if it's been a surprise, because some of the other guys were saying that he was going to be the guy that clearly step in, and he just has a way of some of the things he does might look a little awkward when he pass rushes, but he's breaking the neck of the guy he's rushing him. He's rushing against, meaning like they're having all kind of trouble with his strength and with his ability, to get underneath them and everything. He's got long arms, so I think he's going to be I'm excited to see him, if he can step in there and keep that pressure coming up the middle. Because if you can get pressure up the middle, now, if he can be good in one-on-one protections, then they're going to have to at times single up Carter. And if the Eagles get to that, you got a pass rush. You better believe, because they're going to have all kind of trouble once they single up Carter. If he's making enough trouble for them to where they're thinking about giving his guy some help, see, then you got him. And then that makes the guys coming from outside, their job is easy if you're getting pressure from the inside. Then the quarterback can't step up. If he can't step up, then the guys coming from outside, they're going to have a field day and everything. So then you got to pressure. You got some a pass rush pressure, and if you got that, it helps the defensive backs and everything. But they got to find that other corner, though, man. And you cannot play with just one guy.
I'll tell you something else that I'm starting to see a little bit. After Carter and Davis, man, I'll tell you, the loss of Thomas Booker in that trade.
Yeah,
I saw the Browns just blowing those dudes off the ball.
Now, that's a good point.
That was really on display there, because I mean, Ty Robinson's got a long way to go in his development. I mean, and don't expect too much. He's a 4th-round pick. I mean, I don't know what you guys are going to be looking at with him right out of the gate, but boy, Garry, the depth at defensive tackle, that was also on display this past Saturday.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was very discouraging with the whole group. I don't know if it's something that they were, because they scrimmaged against them, they came into the game. But I don't understand. You go into a pro game and your job is on the line. How you go into the game and you're not ready to play? I mean, you're going to play. How could you show up and you're not ready to play? And and getting pushed around. Come on, man. What are you doing? I don't understand it. Hopefully, there's something better up the road. But that was just that the Browns game was awful, man.
How about this one too? Let me ask you on Trotter. You tell me if this is a product of the people around him. I thought he was a liability in coverage. I thought he was slow. Now, Garry, when you're playing next to Bond and you've got Carter and Davis in front of you,
yes,
I mean, the talent level around you is going to cover for some of that stuff. And you're going to be able to go with more instincts when you're playing in there, when you got the first group. And when you've got guys that are kind of, you're never really going to get any kind of chemistry on the defense when you got 2, 3s, and 4s, right? You're just, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, for me, was he a product of the people
I think,
or was that a problem for you?
I think Trotter is the guy that is able to benefit from the fact you put in a game plan. You know what the other team likes to do. You study that, and you're playing with your smarts. And usually that's the way most games are played. When you got the preseason game, they're running anything. And the thing that's not his strength is his quickness or his speed. That's not his strength. If he is in just a pure one-on-one, like sometimes just one-on-one drill where you don't know what the guy's running, he benefits from seeing the play. He knows the formation they're in. This is what they like to do. He knows what defense they're in, where he has help at and everything. Mentally, that's where he benefits. If it's just a pure athletic situation, that's not his strength, and then sometimes, in preseason game, none of those things are part of the game because you don't know what they're going to run, So I don't think that helps him. That doesn't help Trotter. And if it's just a pure speed and quickness thing, that's not where he excels at,
Garry, who do you think starts next to Bond?
Well, probably by the time they get going
for Dallas.
They're probably going to be alternating some, but you know that 30 is going to be in there at some, to some degree. He's either going to be all-out starter or he's going to be, in there getting some of the reps, and they're kind of alternating a little bit because they got to put him on the field because he's such a good athlete that he's going to be creating problems for the other team. Plus, he can run and he can cover. He's so big with the long arms and stuff. He's going to be, just a problem for the other team, because of the athlete he is. And I think they're going to find a way to get him on the field some. He's going to be part of what they want to do. And then who knows? I see some of the kids that I think that they're somewhat surprised in. And I think what is it? I don't know what round he was in. One of the other kids from Georgia. What's the other kid?
Smile London. London.
I think there's a chance for him. You can see that he's impressing them, and they're having to put him on the field more and more. And really, he has been probably, if I were to say, the surprise of the linebackers. Yeah. He has been the surprise of the linebackers in the camp.
So what you're saying right now is that there could be a rotation at the other off linebacker, a rotation at safety, and a rotation at corner.
Well, they got to find, they got to find something out at that corner spot.
3 positions with rotating guys to replace 3 dudes.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, and you can know this, is that they do not have guys, they so far that they say, hey, we got starters at this position. You haven't heard that from them.
Yeah.
So that lets you know that nobody's really shining. So that's what lets you know there's some concern that you don't have that long. How much longer do you have before the first game?
No, we're like, what are we, 14, 15 days out from the, September 1st here? I mean, we're right around the corner here, right?
Yeah, so so you can see that there's some concern about certain positions. Nobody's just taking it. A lot of those spots have not been taken, so they're still looking. So there's some concern, but we'll see what happens. But it's obvious. It's obvious.
Play charades with you on the last one here. Who am I going to be this year on the sidelines here? Boy. Hey, you know this.
Yeah.
The top 25 players came out, and AJ's not in it. So, I mean, he's number 29, and I'm just saying.
I don't know what did they say it is now? It's a hamstring, right?
Yeah, hamstring. He's missed the entire training camp with a hamstring. He's out there, though, playing like quarterback out there at camp.
I know. I mean, I see him out there where I'm going, they got to be holding him out, I'm saying. Hey, they got to be. Because I know it doesn't look like he's that hurt. So they're holding him out. But,
Okay.
you know.
All right. For the 30th ranked passing offense, they're holding him out. All right. Hey, I got it. G Cobb. Last week, the New York Jets. Holy cow. You talk. Hey, I'd rather be covering the Eagles.
I know.
Than covering that shit show in New York. I'll tell you that.
They are bad, boy. That's a bad-looking group up there, boy.
Boy, I tell you, the Band-Aid guy, Woody Johnson, needs to stick to selling Band-Aids and hair conditioner because he can't run a football team to save his life. G Cobb, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you doing this.
Hey, have a good one.
You got it, man. That's my friend Garry Cobb. Make sure you check him out at Fox 29 right there in Philadelphia. Absolutely. Whoa, man. Yeah, A.J. Brown, man. I don't know. You're going to be doing this. You'll be thumbing through them pages. Going to have a lot to think about coming up. Yep. Improving the 29th ranked passing offense. And he's sitting on his ass reading a book and can't play quarterback. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is going to be a great year. Oh, my God. We're already out of the gate like a banshee, man. Holy cow. Howard Eskin will join us. That'll be at 5:30 Eastern time. Where do we go here? I haven't even really gotten to all of my – hang on here for him. Here we go. I got to two of them. Let's get to Vic here for a second. So Vic spoke. Vic Fangio spoke. So A.J. Brown's not a top 25 NFL player. Huh. I see why he's now on the list of – he's the third best receiver in the NFC East. Oh, by the way, tonight, the soon-to-be NFC East champion Washington Redskins are playing the Bengals tonight. Can't wait to watch that thing tonight here. And Jaden Daniels is going to play tonight. The best quarterback in the NFC East is going tonight. So here was Vic today. He was asked the question about your cornerback too, who all of you told me and swore to me, like M. Reyes, Keely Ringo, All-Pro. Yeah, All-Pro what? Fourth team? Okay. Has anybody separated themselves at corner? Not yet. All the guys are in for a battle. Nobody's won the job yet. Here we go. August 18th. Whew. Man. Makuba. I love the way he addressed Makuba. You know what he said? Well, the turnover was more on them, and the fumble was more on them. He downplayed it. Because you know why? He saw the same stuff I did. I thought he was good at times. He wasn't great. Go watch the film. Isn't it funny? You go on social media. This is what you heard. Oh, my God. Makuba's a dog. You're like, Dylan Gabriel did what they wanted against him. They didn't stop that offense. 7 straight series they scored. What were you watching? They had like a few splash plays, but the Browns dominated. Guys who are looking for a starting job. Crazy. Hey, the kid Jacorian Bennett, I'm good with him. I think he needs more reps. I want to see him play a lot. Get this. See this here? That's a lie. That's a lie right there. He torched the third string defense. No. He torched a guy who's fighting for a starting corner job. He torched a guy who's starting for a safety job in Makuba. He torched a guy who's starting or fighting for a safety job in Sidney Brown. Those guys got torched. Last Saturday, 60% of your players that are going to make your roster for the starting 57 played on Saturday. and we're destroyed. Destroyed. How you doing? Jahad Campbell and Makuba and Smile Munden, those guys get hall passes with me. They're learning the game. Okay? They're learning the game. Okay? Let's see. Who? Gave up 12 points and forced 2 turnovers. The one thing that this guy, destroyed. They had 200 yards. Get this. He goes to the one stat it doesn't matter in preseason. Instead of going to the number, that was actually the thing you look at, going up and down the field on them. This is why this guy here doesn't know what he's doing, and this is why we're here. See a guy like this? He looks at the most meaningless thing in preseason, the scoreboard, instead of actually what happened in the game. A 14 quarterback with a second-team O-line beat the shit out of your guys fighting for spots. Once again, you're not looking at the right thing, which is normal.